All right.
Hi,
So,
Ray.
hi, hi, brother Sage. So, welcome to Children of the Sun here on WSTX AM 970. We had some technical difficulties. I'm doing a backup on the phone. So, I just want to welcome everyone to the program on WSTX AM 970. We do have a radio listening audience. I want to say good afternoon and welcome to the program. Welcome to the weekend because it is a Friday. We do the show every Friday, 12:30 to 2:30 Atlantic Standard, because we do the show out of the Caribbean, the beautiful turquoise waters of the Caribbean. My guest today is Brother Sage. He is a world-renowned expert on urine therapy. Probably we could say a pioneer in the field. It's been around for thousands of years, so I'm not going to say he is the first pioneer, but he's certainly a leader in getting it out into the public consciousness in the modern age. So we got a lot to talk about. Brother Sage, um, I want to get in. We have people in the audience who've never even heard of this. We also have people in the audience who are very familiar with it. So, and I know that we want to touch on the science, but I also want to get into like the emotion and the heart of it, of why people do this. But let's start with like some basic ideas. So this is about drinking urine, pee, as a healing and as a helpful and healing modality. And so, tell us like how does this work and what is urine?
Okay, first let's start off with a visual so you guys will know where we're going and what we're talking about.
Okay.
All right, so there is a route that the blood plasma takes from the bone marrow through the liver on its way to the kidneys. The kidneys take the blood plasma. They have a sophisticated filtration system known as the nephron with 1.2 million little filters in it, and it turns that into ultra filtered blood plasma water. Perfectly designed from
Cool.
memory, education, information to build the perfect medicine and antibodies and remedy for your health. That's the short version.
Okay.
Now, this
And
water
so,
goes
how
by.
does this? Do you drink the urine just for physical healing, or does it have other benefits as well?
It has multiple benefits from physical to mental to emotional. And some people say they feel more connected to their spirit or their sacred side of themselves by drinking the water, which is the same water we all have. I mean, that's a universal concept right there. The same water, same color is in every human being and in animals. It's a universal panacea. Yeah, we can drink it and you can apply it topically. And it's built for you by you with an incredible timing and notification system called Time to Pee.
So most people think of urine as a waste product and that it would be poisonous to drink it. Very few people, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because this is really getting outside of the box of conventional thinking, which I'm a big proponent of. So, very few people. I mean, I think you need to spend a little more time explaining to people why drinking urine isn't going to make them sick, but in fact could cure them. Let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you something. Have you, like, I know you studied with Leonard Orr and rebirthing as well as urine therapy. You cite two people as really getting you initiated into urine therapy. Leonard Orr was one of them. He was also my teacher, but I was mainly doing breath work learning from him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he we talked about urine therapy. I wasn't really ready at the time for it, but and then you have another mentor that you mentioned. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But
Cohen Vanderkroon.
say that again, because I'm not getting it.
Okay, this other
Lord
person,
Vanderbilt.
his name, he wrote the book, A Golden Fountain. His name is Cohen,
Okay.
Coen Cohen Vanderkroon. He's out in Holland.
Okay, so that really is like it sounds. Usually when people get into something like this, that's because they had and devote their life to it. It's because they had some kind of personal healing experience with it. Did you have one?
No, my approach or my introduction to urine therapy came from a more of a spiritual direction, because the second book was now the Golden Fountain was my Bible, my urine therapy Bible, but Leonard Orr's book, The Secrets of Youthing, laid out the Damar Tantra, which was the teachings that were handed down from Shiva as he was teaching his partner Parvati about drinking of herself and how to live a long life, including immortality. And it was his book that was my influence, because Babaji was Leonard's guru, and Leonard knew Babaji also as Shiva, the universal Lord of the universe. So I felt like, since I had a connection with Babaji, where's my Babaji? I immediately felt like, okay, if he's going to send a messenger and tell me to drink my pee, I'm in. And I didn't have to think about it because I had an illness or a major disease to deal with. But over the years that I started using it, I started to realize, oh yeah, I could help my intestines here and my prostate over here and brain clarity and rest and all that stuff. So then I started using it to apply it for health conditions.
All right, and so explain to the folks why it's not a waste product. Why it's like how the kidneys are not a part of the waste system.
The kidneys are not organs of elimination.
Right. Explain about that.
The kidneys are a filtration system. They filter plasma, blood plasma. And what they do is they run it through the system, and then it shows up for you. Now, there's 4,000 known compounds that have been identified. In 1971, NASA, of all people, put out an extensive list of all the ingredients of nutrients in urine. So that tells me it was on their radar. Now, most people, other than the folks that are in the water family, still have this old belief going around in their head that they never questioned or challenged, because that's what they were led to believe was true, that urine was a waste product. But we found out after doing a deep dive and some research where it all started. Prior to 1917, in the United States, people were doing urine therapy. It was known by the Native Americans. It was known by a lot of indigenous cultures that were here in the United States. In 1917, you might have heard of the Rockefeller Foundation. Well, they showed up on the scene.
I believe the name sounds familiar.
Yes, they decided they wanted to rule the health industry on the planet. And in order to take over the industry of medicine, they started demonizing all alternative healthcare practices, including urine therapy. It's the same thing they did with cannabis in the early 20s. But more and more people are finding that they somehow remember being in water in the womb for 9 months, or that it's not as crazy an idea that we used to think.
I'm still here. Yeah, they asked me to turn my camera off. I think they're going to try to get a background for me. You can hear me, right? Yeah. So that's the other thing. That's the other thing too, that people don't realize that the amniotic fluid is urine. So you basically spent the first 9 months of your life floating in a pool of urine. So it is not poisonous.
Right. And you're drinking it, and you're snorting it, and you're massaging your body with it. And you came out with a beautiful baby body until the hospital started messing with us. And it was perfect, and it was sterile, and it was pure while we're in the womb, while in the body. And somehow people have come up with this idea that when we're older and we're not inside the body, the urine somehow is not sterile. And that's far from the truth.
So can Can you give us some healing stories of people that you've helped with urine therapy?
Yeah, I've seen people turn around everything from mental conditions like Alzheimer's and ADHD. I met a woman at the Water of Life convention in Las Vegas in 2018. Incredible meeting of ADP drinkers in a hotel room. It was a conference facility in Las Vegas. This woman had multiple sclerosis prior to using urine therapy, and she walked from the back of the room all the way to the front, gave her emotionally testimonial, and walked all the way back. And it's just incredible. Right now, we're working with a 21-year-old man who's got autism, and he's bathing and drinking in it and doing foot soaks, and he's starting to show improvement, which is very promising for people who knew that their kids were messed up because of vaccinations. There's a way to turn that around with urine therapy. Now, there are wisdoms and there are key points that make this water as powerful as it is, and it works. And one of the key elements is that it alchemizes or sterilizes anything it touches. So if you got oral health and you're gargling with it, you've cleaned out your mouth, you've got a healthy oral hygiene now, you can swallow that. It won't be contaminated because it sterilizes and alchemizes everything it touches. Other key point is that it's an intuitive medicine. That means it will tell you when to drink it, how much to drink it, when to fast on it, when to do urine, fresh or evolving enemas. And there's a whole lot of information. You can learn about it, study it, meet the water family and all the social media groups. And we'll go on and on about that, including the Shivambu retreat, which is coming up in Portland at the end of September. But right now, Ray has left me untethered to the camera and the microphone. Isn't that amazing? Well, guys, if you got any water to drink, we might as well tap it up, pop it back. 24 hours, good year. So I teach urine therapy training courses. I host urine therapy conference calls. We're up to number 30. The urine therapy, ural therapy training courses, we're up to number 12, starting in the 11th of September. If you want to find any urine therapy teachers or therapists on the planet, go to brothersage.com and click on the About tab. It'll drop down to Water Family Directory, where you have access to reach out to anybody who's nearby you, anywhere on the planet, and talk to them about urine therapy. Hi, Ray.
Are we live?
We seem to be as live as we can be live, yes. Or just take a pause moment. Go ahead, Ray.
All right. So what else can you tell us about urine therapy?
Well, there's some wisdoms that I created a chart for. These wisdoms are the key points of why it works, why it's so powerful, and why you should use it. The first key point is that it's an intuitive medicine. You understand that this water, also known as Shivambu, which means either the water Shiva or blood of the Lord, and in this case, blood plasma, comes with information and energy of what perfect cells and perfect cellular structure is. So when it takes the medicine and you return it back into the body, it's immediately working on whatever antibodies, whatever corrections have to be made in the water, taking it into the cells and into the bloodstream to correct the conditions. That's number one. Number two, it alchemizes anything it touches. Another way of saying alchemize is transformational. It transforms it, or it sterilizes. People ask all the time, well, should I gargle it if I have oral health, gum disease, teeth, whatever? I say, yeah, gargle with it, but don't spit it out, because it just neutralizes, sterilizes, and raise the vibration so that it has, in essence, become Shivambu. Swallow it. That's number two. Number three, it works regardless of your considerations. It's a universal panacea for a reason. It doesn't matter. You're going to get you watchers, you observers, you guys out there, listen to this. It doesn't matter, because it's universal in nature. It doesn't matter if you drink a man's urine, a woman's urine. Urine is another name for urine. An adult, a child, a different race, an animal, your own. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to be affected by hormones or opposite gender systems like that. It's universal, and people are doing this all the time, including myself. I've been drinking it with some of my students, and we found out when you start exchanging urine with other people, you get the benefit of their immune system merging with your immune system. That's number 3. Number 4, the only thing you cannot heal with Shivambu is what you believe you cannot heal. The things that people are healing is everything from cancer to AIDS to multiple sclerosis to COVID to allergies, you name it. But it's a matter of changing your diet, by the way. You can't just drink and expect, miracles going on if you're still eating crap, if you have a negative attitude, you did not work out your beliefs since childhood. There's a whole wellness format that I use and many of the therapists use for you to improve your health. Number 5, Shivambu is an evolutionary water. Now, some people use fresh, and some people use what they call aged. I've changed the wording to evolving because it grows in stem cells and antibodies and in potency. And so when you use the evolving water,
I think you need to you're really rushing. Let's slow down a bit, because you just went right through evolved urine with stem cells. People need to understand that the aged urine, when you let it sit, doesn't become like rancid or poisonous, that there are stem cells. Stem cells are what the body uses grow all the new cells. And this urine, stem cells proliferate in it when it is allowed to age. So spend a little bit of time, let people catch people up.
Okay, so what we're looking at is trillions of stem cells that's produced by the urine. There have been quite a few people who think that because they have problems like with their knees or their joints, to do stem cell injections. And they'll go to Mexico and they'll go to third world countries, wherever they can, and pay a whole lot of money when you can get it for free.
Out of your own human body pharmacy.
Exactly. We have a pharmacy in there, and it's always available. And when you start using it, you just realize that the toilet's not for that anymore. You're just going to use it for internal use or external use. So what I was referring to there is the evolutionary process. What it does is it gains in potency, it gains in stem cells, it gains in its ability to transform your health. And there are people who are using equal amount of fresh or aged. I'm finding that more and more people can get to aged, but it takes a little bit of a mental hurdle for some people. This is why I changed the terminology to evolving urine and evolutionary urine, because when a lot of people hear the word aged and aging, they think of losing health, strength, potency, and dying.
Right.
So like you do the same thing, Ray. You look for words that have a higher way to understand things, and we bump it up.
Is it a good idea to do you have to have a really pure, clean diet of just eating fruits and vegetables in order to make your urine taste palatable, where you can stand the taste of it? If somebody just has a really bad diet, meat and junk food and then they try to do urine therapy, is it going to taste really bad? And as long as we're talking about that, what about if they're on all kinds of medication, maybe they want to use urine therapy to get off of it, but will the urine be contaminated by the meat or the beer and wine or the Twinkies or the various medicines they're taking? How does that all factor in?
There's the ultimate way of eating, which is fruit, which is sprouts, which is live foods, because it has the most life force, enzymes, chlorophyll, and use for your body to break down and absorb it. The people who are eating meat, dairy, doing recreational drugs, medicine, whatever it is, the body's still going to get benefit from doing the urine therapy. And over a period of time, hold on, I need a drink here.
What are you doing?
What am I drinking? What was the question?
Over a period of time?
See, what happens is you got to clean up your diet. You got to clean up.
No, I said, what are you doing? You said, hold on. And then we.
Oh, I had a little tickle. I wanted to get a drink. So the people who are still doing meat and still doing dairy, it's going to affect the smell, the color, the taste, and the thickness of your water. We found that the people who are moving toward raw foods, it's clearer, it's tastier, it tastes like coconut water, kind of like an ambrosia water. And there's an amazing thing that happens, Ray, and you guys that are watching this, is that Shivama has a way to change and balance the brain chemistry. So if the people going, can I still do my drugs, whether it's medical or recreational, if I'm doing urine therapy? Well, of course you can. And when the brain chemistry gets corrected and rebalanced, the craving and the addiction will fall away, which we've seen happen a lot of time for people who are sharing that with us.
I've heard about urine. I've heard about urine therapy for the treatment of addiction, and I was wondering. I've heard it explained two different ways. So you're the expert. Maybe you could shed some light on this. One is okay. That in the context of looping. So you're addicted to some drug, and you're going to explain to the people what looping is. But as you loop it, your urine has the drug in it, so you don't get the shakes. But as you go around and around, each time it has less and less. So you're basically tapering off. So that's one explanation I've heard. The other explanation, and the drug could be also alcohol. So like, you're looping and you're gradually decreasing the amount in your body. So you're basically tapering off naturally. And I guess it's like at the best rate of decrease for the individual because it's their urine. And then the other explanation I've heard is that it actually has an antidote for your addiction. So maybe it's both, maybe it's neither. What's your opinion on that?
What the body is doing is it's getting information from the drug to build the antibodies, to build the antigens in order to correct it. Now, it's such a small, minute particle of your drugs that might be in the urine or heavy metals or whatever people are concerned about. But you got to understand it's in a micronutrient size compared to 4,000 other nutrients that are also in the urine. So it's already dropped down in structure and size anyway. So each time you loop, now loop basically means every time you collect your pee and you collect your pee, you drink it. So ultimately you're drinking all your output and consume it all day long. That's what looping is. Now looping isn't necessarily fasting, though people who fast on urine, anywhere from a day to 30 days, they drink everything they have all day long. And that's all they take. Maybe some distilled water, maybe some fruit juice, but that's their primary source of nutrition.
Okay, cool. And so that's looping. So looping is sort of like the exact opposite of drinking aged urine.
Well, no, it's quantity we're talking about. Drinking everything. It's fresh. Well, looping is just fresh, of course. Unless you have some storage.
I mean, if you're I mean, just from a logistical point of view, if you're looping everything, you don't have anything to put aside to have aged or evolved urine.
Well, if that's all you have in the house, if you have some stored away in what we call the water closet, you could alternate between fresh and aged.
Okay, and so how much should you store away? How long does it take to build up an inventory?
Well, it all depends on what you want to use it for. If you want to store up someday to take a bath, or if you want to do a foot soak.
So you actually could people actually bathe in it.
People bathe.
Oh, that's like a foot bath?
This is for foot soaks or foot bathing. Okay, this is
Now
just a
I've heard, so I know that a lot of people say, what is it? You put like the feet are, you, they put like
reflex.
garlic bandages on the soles of their feet to suck out the toxins. So I know the feet are a really good like portal for that kind of stuff. So is that the idea with these foot soaks in the urine? I mean, you're
All
not
right,
just
see,
trying to get soft, pretty
all
feet.
right,
You're
you
actually
see the, you,
sucking
you,
stuff out.
yeah. For all you guys who know about reflexology, all those
Right.
meridians, all those reflexology points are on the ends of the feet and ankles. And the reflexology is parallel to also to people who use essential oils, because the people who use essential oils, they know that the widest surface of the skin is in the soles of the feet. So you have the best
Okay.
opportunity to drive nutrients into the bloodstream. And so by doing a 30-minute foot soak, you can nourish your whole body that way.
Cool.
It's also a great introduction for people who are a little bashful about drinking it at that point.
Hey, brother Sage, let me add just technical thing. Do you see me twice on your screen?
No, I only see one
Okay.
red.
Okay, good. All right, because I've got we got disconnected, and I went back in, and I see myself twice. So I'm wondering if I'm like using up bandwidth by being on here 2 times. But I think that's just like I think I'm just on once. All right. So here now we have a little bit of prettier background. Um,
Beautiful.
well,
Can I?
so
Yep.
yeah, go ahead.
I want to explain another one of the key points, and it's a
Okay.
topic. The topic I've been teaching in my last 3 books is called saturation dosing. And
Saturation dosing. What is that?
basically is increasing not only the oral consumption of urine, but also using topical protocols so that you can deliver a lot more nutrients into the skin, the blood cells, the organs, and actually get ahead of pollution and toxins in the body by building up your immune system, your immunity, and the rest of your body. I mean, a lot of people saturate because they're overcoming an illness or compromised immune system, but other people do it for preventative care.
So you're like really like overwhelming either an illness or toxins or just getting ahead of the game.
Yeah. I mean, you participate out in the world, there's all kinds of things that you're exposed to. So it's good to have your body in top shape.
How does urine therapy fit into breatharianism?
Well,
I mean, the reason I'm asking is when I'm coming up. I'm tomorrow will be my 40th day without food. I've just been drinking water and a little bit of diluted juice, but mainly just water. And I was thinking about I thought about integrating the urine therapy. I mean, I've done urine therapy, and I even actually thought about doing this 21-day process, integrating some urine into the drinking of the water. But the protocol from Jasmine is, there's no urine involved. And the first time I tried the process, I did it differently than how she said, and I wasn't successful. So I decided this time I'm just going to do it by the book. So, I didn't want to take any chances. But now that I'm coming up on my 40th day, I feel like I've got it pretty much under my belt, and I'm thinking about integrating urine into it.
Dude.
Yeah, but will that, so if I'm drinking water and then instead of diluted juice, I don't know, full strength urine or diluted urine, would that be considered still being a breatharian, or would people say that, well, now you're eating because it's so chock full of vitamins and minerals? How do you see it? Yeah, how do you see urine therapy as related to breatharianism?
Well, if we make it about the urine, if we make it about food, then that's a totally different approach to breatharianism. There are some breatharians say they can eat or not eat, but their main source of energy is prana and life force and cosmic rays of energy. So
yeah, and I'm not really thinking of the urine as having prana or actually even as having any kind of nutritional value. I'm thinking of it as just like a way of supercharging my health.
Yeah, I say it definitely would supercharge your health and would add more potency to whatever you're doing. Are you familiar with the teachings of Andrew Norton Webber? Andrew Norton Webber he's also known as
I mean,
Aquarius. Andrew
What
Norton
was the name
Webber.
again?
Andrew Norton Webber.
Norton Webber. I thought you were saying Andrew Lloyd Webber, the musical writer.
No.
Norton. This is okay, Andrew Norton Webber. Tell us about him.
Andrew Norton Webber was a big component of distilled water and urine therapy. Distilled water, by the way, if you divide the word up, D-I-S-T-I-L-L, it really means to make the opposite of, which is to activate. So distilled water is activated water, despite what the so-called experts tell you that it does harm to the body. It's actually the best water for the body. And according to Andrew Norton Webber, the 4 sources of distilled water is rainwater, urine, fruit, and glacial water.
Okay.
So he puts urine in that list of distilled waters because it's activated, bioavailable, nutritionally dense water.
Cool. All right. So that'd be like drinking rainwater or water from fruit.
Exactly. However, this one's encoded with your DNA, so it knows what your body's looking for.
Yeah, so you're talking about when I was asking you about the urine therapy for people that have addictions or alcoholism, the way and now you're doing it again. It almost sounds as if your urine is intelligent.
It
like
is.
It has talk about that then. It has like an intelligent input into your.
It's connected to your guidance system. See, it comes, like I said earlier, it comes with information, it comes with energy, it comes with the knowing of what perfect cells or divine order is in your body. So what it's wanting to do is clean up your mess, put you back together. And it has a way of doing that because of its compounds, its nutrients, its substrates. People have asked from time to time, is it good for stress and emotional imbalances? Well, if you look deeper into the nutrients, you'll find that such things as serotonin, melatonin, oxytocin, DHEA, B vitamins, magnesium. All these are known to relax not only the nervous system, but help the adrenals and the glandular functions of the body. So when people drink it, sometimes at night when they drink it, they sleep better. They're calmer. They're able to function a lot better.
Cool.
And that affects your psychology.
Well, yeah.
So because of what I just said, it's interesting because in a lot of people's understanding, Shivambu, the Sanskrit word for urine therapy, Shivambu is in a category all unto itself. We're talking about trying to explain immortality to mortals or infinity to a finite consciousness. This has such a broad understanding that it's taken me 28 years. I've been at this since 1994. It's taken me 28 years to really grasp the fullness and the magnificence of this water. And that's why myself and a lot of people call us Shivambu devotees, not just fanatics or enthusiasts.
Well, talk about the relationship between urine therapy and Shiva.
Shiva, let's bring
Babaji.
out.
Tell people who, yeah.
All right, this was
Tell
mine.
the people who Babaji and Shiva are.
All right, this is Shiva. This is Shiva and his partner, Parvati. Now, a lot of devotees of Babaji. Now, this was the Babaji who was also in Yogananda's book, Autobiography of a Yogi. So a lot of people know either Babaji as Babaji or Babaji as Shiva. And here's what happened. 5,000 years ago, Parvati decides to ask her partner, Shiva, how come you don't age? How come you're strong? How come you're healthy? How come you're still a sexy guy? And he said, drink of yourself and you will live and you will know what I know. So he laid out this incredible scriptures known as the Damar Tantra. And in the Damar Tantra, he presents how to heal everything and all these steps and what to drink and what herbs to take it with. And at the end of the 9-year program, you achieve physical immortality. So
And
5,000
I want
years.
people to, yeah, physical immortality is, I've turned off my camera, by the way, just to save some bandwidth,
That's okay,
but I'm
Ray.
still here. Physical immortality is the idea of living forever in the same physical body. We're not talking about life after death or life in the, pie in the sky up in heaven. We're talking about walking around on earth in a body that is thousands and thousands of years old, but you look like you're 20, 30, or 40, whatever age, apparently, whatever age you like.
Yeah, or that you appear like.
I mean, there's like Leonard said that Bartraji, he met him once and he looked to be about 40, and then
Yes.
he demonstrated. He went back he got younger right in front of him and became like an 18-year-old. Then he became like an 80-year-old, and then he went back to 40, and that he preferred 40 because people didn't think he was frail, but they didn't think he was so young. They just, people who didn't know who he was.
Mhm.
40 is like a good age because people listen to you and they don't think you're an old fart.
Right.
So Bartraji liked to hang out at 40.
Yes, and
So
he
it
was too.
sounded like he was saying that some of these immortal masters just pick the age they want to appear to be for other people.
Well, they have mastery over the physical universe. They have mastery over 3D, so they can play with it any way they want to. And they do
Right.
that. They do that on purpose as a layla or a teaching technique for people where they're at in their consciousness to help them along in their journey.
Right. So, uh, let me get this.
I see one of you.
Good. What about like, can people use it for their pets?
Oh, that's a great question, Ray. I'm glad you brought that up. We've been gathering more and more testimonials. Now, when I say we, I'm referring to a nonprofit organization that I founded called Shivambu. And what we've been doing is gathering up all kinds of content and research and videos and testimonials. And we get more and more pet owners, whether it's a four-legged or a flying bird. They apply their own, and dogs, for example, on their fur, in their water, whatever they can. And their health has been improving. Their coat has been shining. Their energy has been returning. So what we learn is that, like I said earlier, it's not species specific. I mean, look at the folks out in India who drink cow urine, goat urine, camel urine. And there's some woman who was going around on YouTube drinking her dog's urine. So yeah, use it on your pets. You'll get results, and you'll be thankful that you did. There is a video going around. I have it at Shivambu Hut if you ever want to go to Shivambu Hut. It's a free membership social media platform with 340 members. Go to shivambu.org, spelled SHIVAMBHU.org. And there's a video of a woman who was doing a evolving Orin bath. She left it in the bathtub, and her dog got in the water. Her dog was splashing and drinking and having the time of its life. So she knew her dog was totally cool with her urine. And that video's floating around social media right now. So you can see how animals embrace their water, embrace your water. There's also videos going around of chimpanzees and orangutans doing a reverse yoga and peeing in their mouth, and giraffes and other animals. So nature already knows this stuff. The animals in the animal kingdom, they already know this stuff. And Ray has gone AWOL. He'll be back. In the meantime, handling objections. And by the way, if someone comes up to you and says, you know that urine therapy, that urine is a disgusting waste product. Well, first thing you want to ask them is, where did you get that idea from? And you'll find out that these people have no strong argument. And then you can proceed to tell them that, well, maybe the doctors got it wrong on purpose because they don't want you to know that you can heal yourself for free and you won't need them or the hospital or any medical help. So this is part of the evolution of humanity. We're not revolutionaries, we're evolutionaries. So we're helping people find their way back to themselves and back to their health and back to their prosperity and back to their feeling of connection and freedom. And this is what we're teaching people at the Shivambu retreats, like the one coming up in Portland, Oregon, September 30th through October 3rd. Shameless promotion since I'm the only one on the screen. Is anybody making any comments? Anybody? No comments. So while Ray is having technical difficulties, I will just keep talking about urine therapy. It's been around for 5,000 years. Right now, we've come up with about 1 billion people practicing Shivambu urine therapy in over 50 countries. A lot of the indigenous people did not write it down, but we're already aware that there's been 3 to 7 million of them in China because of their urine therapy association. There's like 7 to 10 million of them in Germany, and they're all over the world. So there's a lot of this going on. Now, in 1994, when I started doing urine therapy, there was a book. That's all I knew about. And there were some other books on the subject, but there was no social media. There was no internet. So I was on my own, drinking, soaking my feet in it, doing enemas, doing all that. Now, my wife wasn't cool with it, but she said, you know, it's your hobby. It's your thing. Do it what you want, sweetie. And that worked out, and I wish I'd known different, and I was more assertive with it because she ends up dying of colon cancer. But that's a whole nother conversation. So then in 2017, I discovered social media was going nuts with the urine therapy movement, with Shivambu movement. And so I ended up transmitting and downloading a book. This was my first book. It came out in 2018. You can get it on Amazon or a signed copy from me. And then I started talking up on radio shows, started talking up on television shows. There's an interview going around on Channel 7 from Denver that has 50,000 views right now. And it's over at, you can watch a copy of it over at youtube.com/Brother Sage. I've got all the videos from the classes, the trainings, the conference calls, the instructional videos about urine therapy, hundreds of them. They're over at my YouTube channel, so go there and check it out. If you happen to be in Oregon, end of September, we're going to do the Shivambu Retreat number 2. The last one was in Oceanside, California, May 25th through the 29th, something like that. We had 12 attendees. We've got 12 already signed up for the next one and got room for 12 more. So, Ray, we're still alive. I'm still alive. If you want to find a urine therapy teacher anywhere on the planet or someone who is a specialist, go to brothersage.com. Click on the About tab and drop it down to the Water Family directory. If some of you are watching this right now and you are urine therapy teachers, urine therapy specialists, and you want to be available for the world and for people in your city and country, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to get listed. Very exciting stuff. We've been putting this together. We're slowly working on a documentary so we can produce a movie called Following the Shivambu Trail, which will spotlight myself, a camera person, and a crew going around the world, setting up communities and teaching people the power of their water. So Ray is still AWOL, and I own the show, and a whole lot of fun. This book came out. This is my other book, my third book. This came out in 2020, the Manual for Urine Therapy Teachers and Therapists. And in 2022 came out The Secrets of Youthing by Leonard Orr, but revised and annotated by Brother Sage. And it was in 2022. It came out on 2/22/22. And then not too long after that, this book, which is just going nuts out on social media and out on Amazon, is Healing Water from Within Handbook. This baby is intentionally kept really low price. It's only $7.77, but people are buying tons of these and giving away to people who are sick and tired of being sick and have given up on the medical industry, which more and more people are doing every day when they're waking up and realize that we've been lied to. So, Ray, wherever you are, I'm still here. Any questions from any of the audience out there who happen to be watching the show? So, here's some of the protocols. Goggles. Goggles are cool because they can hold the urine inside the goggles, create a good suction, and then leave it there for 5 or 10 minutes, and then take it off and let the urine just wipe it all over your face. Another one, which is a lifesaver, everybody knows this one, enemas. Evolving or fresh enemas. You'll want to be able to get an enema kit with the bag, the tube, the clamp, the tip, right? This will hold 2 quarts. You hold what you can each time, let go to the toilet, and do about 4 or 5 or 6 rounds of that. You won't have a migraine. You won't have constipation. And pain in your back and in your organs will diminish rather quickly. So get in the habit of doing that. Eye cups. Everybody get an eye cup. These are not expensive. And put the suction over your eyes, blinkety blink with your eyes open. That's how you help with your eyes and cataracts and night vision and floaters, etc., etc. Neti pot, everybody knows about a neti pot. This will clean out your nose from nostril to nostril, one side or the other. But what it won't do is go up into the higher cavities and regions of the sinuses and cross the blood-brain barrier and decalcify the pineal gland. The only way to do that is to snort or drink shibambu up the nose. You can either use the palm of your hand and just snort it up. Some will make it up and some will not. What you're going for is to get this bone, get behind the bone, so it goes down the passageway behind the throat, behind the nose, and down the throat that way. You're also reaching the higher areas of the cranium and the brain. Now, some of the people, we're giving these away at the Shivambu retreat, are buying bottles like this that have a spray top, and then you can spray each side and put your brain back in gear. When you get tired and sluggish and your brain's not tracking and you need to get yourself going throughout the day, start getting used to snorting urine up your nose, and you will find that your brain is clear, it's fresh, you're able to function, your energy returns, and you'll be glad you did. Now, thanks to doing Urine Therapy for 28 years, 1994, this is 28 years, I don't buy supplements anymore. And a lot of people found out that the supplements never really worked. And you are having to be dependent on something that was made by man to put in your body when your body makes something made for you, by you, in order to heal you and regenerate you. And so a lot of us don't go to health food stores for supplements. We'll go for organic produce, or maybe some literature, or maybe some, essential oils. But that's pretty much it. I want you to get used to drinking at least a liter a day. Hey, look, we have a question. I am backstage. Okay. Ray's backstage right now, doing what Ray does backstage, and hopefully he will jump back in the live stream and the show will continue. I have a feeling that his man who's putting this together is going to do some editing. So I'm just going to keep talking. World Urine Therapy conference calls. I've been hosting urine therapy conference calls We're up to 30 conference calls. This started 2 years ago, and we've had as many as 4 guests, as little as 4 guests, and as many as 45 guests, including some of your favorites like Tuche Zagalu and Rosalind Hanson, and Samuel Cohen, and Harry Matadine, and Fabian Farquharian. Troy Casey and I have done an interview, and Dr. Group joined in one time. I did interview Amanda Ballmer last year. There's all these people that are outspoken advocates. I love them, each and every one of them, and I appreciate and adore their commitment to spreading the message. If you haven't noticed by now, this is the movement of all movements. This is the liberation water. This is the transformational water. And when that sinks into your understanding, you'll not want to go a day without using your water. And myself and all the people in the water family, they wouldn't think about missing a day. That's how much it helps them. And if you can do this, if you can form a cup with your hands, talk about the ultimate survival tool. If you can cup your hands and you can pee in your hands and drink it and apply it on your skin, you can survive anywhere on the planet. You can thrive anywhere on the planet. That's all you need to do. You got to be able to get that down. Get that down. Get down that you're okay, that the Creator made you out of perfection and gave you the tools, the intuition, the energy, and the knowledge of how to live your life to the fullest, how to be healthy, happy, joyous, successful, prosperous, free, connected, and so forth. It's hardwired in you. One of the things we do at the Shivamba retreat is help people to break the programming that has been stored in their unconscious belief systems that's creating patterns and repetition in their life of limitation and lack and sickness and disconnect. Take a breath. Take a breath. Come on, guys. You know this drill. Take a breath. And this is why we're doing these retreats, to help people find their way home, to their balance, to their nature, to their way of being, so they can leave the retreat with a clean, fresh mind and an enthusiasm for life again, with enough tools, trainings, and understanding, so when they go back out into their life, this is the life they've dreamed about. This is the life that they've imagined. And so Shivambu happens to be a big piece of that ability to manifest. And somebody's texting me. Is it Ray? Gotta bless him, gotta bless him, gotta bless everyone. The water is my blood. The water is my life. We're going to read a poem, a prayer from the healing water from within. When we start our conferences and when we start our retreats, we start off with a prayer to honor the water. So if you get a copy of this book, Healing Water from Within, either from Amazon or you can get an autographed copy from me if you're in the United States, I'll cover the shipping. It's only $25, you get free shipping. And here's the prayer. So grab your water. It's a sacred water prayer from the Native Americans. I take this water of life. I declare it the water of light. As I bring this water within the body, it allows me to glow. I take this water of light. I declare it the water of God. I am the master of all that I do and all that I am. So be it. Well, it's a most interesting radio show. This is the first time I've been interviewed in which there was no host. And so there's nobody to tell me the show's over, the show's on. And thank you, Ray, for having me on, by the way. Thank you for the honor. Thank you for the thank you for everything. And thank you guys for taking time out of your day to learn about this incredible healing technique, which is free, which is yours. And you were first taught it when you're in mom's belly and you were in a water world. And you were like this fish and you were living off your pee, which was the amniotic fluid. You drank it, you snorted it, you massaged your body in it, you peed in the water, you drank the water, on and on. You were a perfect looper and a sip looper. And then you got born and your body was a beautiful baby body. And so you were fine. Until, the hospital started poking you and doing stuff with you. But you always had the perfect body. And inside each one of us is the memory of living in that world and drinking that water. And more people who have approached me, and a lot of the people in the water family have commented that they don't know why, but they feel called to drink their pee. And it's not as weird or disgusting as they thought it would be. Now, if you want to baby step people and help them to start learning how to do this, have them collect some water and then put a finger in it and lift their finger and tell them, notice you didn't die or get sick. Step 1 on a baby step protocol. Number 2, put your finger in the water, lick the water, notice you didn't get sick or die. And then step number 3 is to get a dropper bottle and put a whole dropper full under the tongue and have them start getting the feel of it energetically and bodily sensation until you get them up to 1 ounce to 3 ounces, and then you can pretty much cut them loose.
All right, we are in the show. So
Hi,
I'm
Ray.
back. We lost the phone. Hi, Brother Sage. So
I've been talking.
did you get a chance to tell the people about your 3 books and your event that you have coming up in Portland?
Yeah, I did. I've even just now I started to teach baby steps. Baby steps is how to introduce a naysayer or a doubter into drinking their pee and putting it on their body and starting this journey.
Prior to convincing someone they should do it, how would somebody just tell their family member what they're doing? I think you recently had a lesson learned along these lines.
Yeah, I did.
You mentioned on Facebook. Yeah, so like if you needed to tell somebody, if somebody's doing this, they want to like break the news to their family or a roommate, how should they go about that?
Well, it's going to take some diplomacy and a willingness to receive whatever you get from people. If this is your lifestyle and it means more than anything to you, why wouldn't you want to share it? That also means you get an opportunity to see what comes up for you when people don't give you the response you want. And so people are saying, hey, listen, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm vital. I have found something that works for me. And actually is a plasma water that I learned about, and I drink it and it makes me healthy. And some people know it as urine therapy. And I just wanted you to know that because that's part of my life. Now, some people can have an open mind. They'll hear you, and other people will put a wall up. But it's not up to you to be concerned about what people are going to say or think about you.
Well, how do people overcome like the for themselves, I mean, like the natural revulsion we have to drinking our own urine?
How do they overcome it?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing
would reading your 3 books help with that? Or your 2 anyway? Maybe not the manual for teachers, but the other 2.
A great way
4?
to start. I've written 4 books. I've written 4 books, and this is the newest book. This came out this year. It's the handbook, and it's a great conversation.
But would people who are just starting to get into that be a good book for them, even though it's for teachers? Sometimes that's the best thing to do, is just skip all the introductory stuff and go straight to the teacher's manual.
Well, for those that want to get all
Are
the
you counting
knowledge,
secrets of youthing?
it's in the
Are you
mix.
counting secrets of youthing as the?
Yes, because I edited and annotated it and modernized it from its original 1994 classic.
Okay.
But Leonard lays out about his journey with urine therapy.
Tell us about Diary of a Madman.
Diary of a Madman. I'm not familiar with that one. Who's that about?
It's Secrets of Youthing
Oh,
has Diary of a Madman in it.
yeah, one of Leonard's articles. And Leonard.
So what did you think when you read that?
Well, Leonard's always been a pioneer and a cutting edge thinker, and he wanted to unravel human belief systems and the human condition. And so he went after everything. And in this book, he addresses and teaches you how to heal what's known as senility. And senility can hit you. It can hit you at any age. It's not someone who's in their older years who starts to forget things and feel helpless and has to rely on people. There are some people in their 30s that go through senility, but they have no way to hold it in their mind. And so Leonard tells you how to process the mind and use the breath and the fire in order to heal it.
And senility is just re-experiencing infancy consciousness. If you think about it, an old person, an old senile person, they're helpless the way an infant is helpless. They can't feed themselves the way an infant cannot feed themselves. They poop in their pants the way an infant poops in their pants.
Exactly.
It's like, and Leonard thought that it's your second chance to try to heal, because when you all the stuff that you got wrong the first time you went through infancy, a lot of hostility and anger from the frustration and the helplessness and being totally dependent on other people happens to you in infancy. When you're going through infancy, you develop all these blockages and limitations in your character as a result of the frustration and the anger and the helplessness. And so then if you don't heal it through breath work by integrating that negative, misjudged, misqualified energy, you go through it again in senility, and that's your second chance to heal it. And he thought if you could heal it, that was like a major stepping stone towards healing death, not needing to die anymore. But the problem is, instead of helping our old people get through senility through help and also mainly like education, letting people, teaching people before, once you're in senility, it's like when I do breathwork sessions, I give people like what to do if it gets really unpleasant. And I tell them, I'm telling you now, I don't want to it's like 95% of the time it's blissful. 5% of the time, some people have a negative experience. And I hate even mentioning it because I'm like making you nervous. But if I wait till it's happening to tell you what to do, you're not going to hear a word I'm saying. And so with senility, if you wait until the person is in the middle of it to tell them what to do, they're not going to hear a word you say. So it would be good if 40-year-olds were given like a handbook letting them know what to expect so they can get ready for it. And then if you can get ready for it and pass it, you could theoretically not necessarily need to die and live forever. But the problem is we don't help our old people either with physical help or with education before they get senile. We warehouse our old people. We just stick them off in old folks' homes someplace and forget about them and wait for them to die. And
a lot of them are
one
medicated.
of the things that you're really good at is building community. What people need to understand is when you need community to get through senility. You can't do it on your own. And once you're senile, you can't build community. And I like the way that you go around the world with your Shiva Ambu
Retreat.
community, and you're like really smart about building community.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. The retreat is designed to build a community that will sustain itself.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, build community, because our old, our old institutions are breaking down. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but things are really changing in the world,
Every day.
and the old institutions are breaking down. The only way we're going to make it is with community, everybody coming together in loving community, and
Supporting each other.
like, yeah, and in a mature, responsible way. And like in America especially, like people have this tendency to like go off on their, be like rugged individualists, and they all go off on their own, and then they all die.
Right.
But it can't be like a community of like, some kind of cult where one person is telling everybody what to do. It has to be a loving community.
Right. The communities that have made it have not had to deal with leadership issues or egos.
Right.
And everybody's on the same page about what serves the best of the community and the individual.
Well, is there a danger of urine therapy communities getting kind of like, seeing themselves as really different from people who don't practice urine therapy?
I've not found any of that separateness or judgment in the water family community. The ones that we put together out in California back in May of this year after the first retreat, several of these people not only still friends and in touch with each other, but 4 or 5 of them are returning to the next retreat.
Cool.
So they want to dive even deeper into themselves and build stronger relationships.
All right, great. Hey, one thing, you disagree with Leonard about drinking midstream. He got and you were getting it. Maybe you talked about this while I was off air. But you were kind of getting into it. Like, so
Yeah.
the ancient text that Leonard really went by,
Yeah.
say to let the initial part go into the toilet or whatever. You don't like catch it. Don't take the first beginning part. And I think part of the Leonard's explanation was that's what the scriptures say. Also, that's kind of like the part that cleans out. I think he would say that it was the part that cleans out the
body
equipment, and you let that go away, and then but you say that's just an old wives' tale.
It tells you in one verse to avoid the first of the stream, drink the midstream, and avoid the last of the stream. And then the next verse, and I can pull it out, I got it right here. The next verse tells you that it's based on tradition and superstition, because the water back 5,000 years ago, they saw it symbolic as a snake. It could bite you, it could poison you, it could kill you. So it was more, they're thinking more as a superstition or a tradition. And now 5,000 years later, we know that every drop is sterile and every drop is precious. So why would you not want to include the entire stream?
Do you know how? Yeah. How's that for the picture?
Your face is dark.
Yeah, I don't care about my face. I just want people to see like a tree in the blue sky instead of a room
water closet,
water heater.
Yeah,
my
good.
Arms are getting tired. Well, Brother Sage, I mean, like, explain to people what your the retreat in Portland. That's the next one, right? But I
The
mean,
next one,
you do retreats other than just you do this retreat on a fairly regular basis all over the country, if not the world.
well, we're building models that can be easily duplicated. I have an organizer working out in West Palm Beach, Florida, possibly one in North Carolina and in Hawaii. And
Well,
we're
all
just,
right, West Palm Beach, Florida might be a little more accessible for the folks here.
yeah, we don't have a
But
date yet.
tell them about what
What goes on?
like how long the retreat, what's included, and all.
Sure. The next coming Shivambu retreat is going to be in Corbett, Oregon, which is about a 20-minute drive from Portland, in the beautiful Columbia River Gorge area. We'll be at this place called Menucha. It's spelled MENUCHA.org if you want to check it out. It's a 100-year-old property that sits on the edge of the gorge, so you get these incredible views. And we're going to have a 4-day retreat from Friday night to Monday morning. And everybody gets to bring their intentions. We've got announcements we're going to make, open it up with a prayer. We're going to have breathing groups, processes, individual group processes, meditations. At nighttime, we're going to be doing kirtan, chanting, possibly dancing and music. It's going to be a well-rounded event for the next 3 or 4 days. And then people will be staying. This venue that we have will hold 30 people in this huge facility known as a barn. So everybody gets bunk beds, and there's 3 or 4 bathrooms there. And we're excited about it. It's only $400. And we still got room for 12 people. 12 people signed up so far. And you can reach me through brothersage.com and answer all your questions. Very exciting. We had 12 people at the last time, and we ended up using a woman's house as the venue. And so in the backyard, we turned it into a Shivambu spa. We had foot soaks, orange massages. People were doing eye cleanses and body washes. And it's just like, that's how you would do a spa. And so we took full advantage of the woman's house. Inside, I was doing on Friday night, I do a 2 to 2.5 hour presentation with Q&A about urine therapy. We're going to go into its effectiveness, the history of it, how to create treatments and use the protocols, and even the future. In the first book that I put out called The Healing Water from Within, you get to read the one and only Piscabulary of Oranisms. I put together the one and only vocabulary and languaging for the water community, and you get to learn words like pistastic and magnificent, and just how happy, just wonderful conversations with people. Because if you're dealing with a controversial and taboo subject like urine drinking is for the majority of people, it helps to have a good sense of humor when you present it to somebody new. Because they may or may not give you the response you're looking for. They may turn to you and make that disgust look, or they may go, "What does that taste like? I've always wondered. Can I have some of yours? Let me try yours." Okay, fine. Now, something that I've been doing, and I got the source of inspiration from Doc Mike Whittord. He's a colleague of mine. He's been a urine therapist for 22 years, and he's a very devoted therapist and healing facilitator. He'll go anywhere in the country, including to Ecuador. He built quite a following down there. And he teaches the urine therapy wafer exchange program. He's put that together so people could have the immunity of other people. And if you ever want to try mine, you just pee on a cotton pad like this, dry it out, put it in an envelope, mail it to me. I'll mail you mine. And what you do is you put it in the water like a tea bag, let it hydrate, use it, drink it. You can do this 2 or 3 more times. And Doc Mike said he's been doing this with over 50 of his students. He claims he has the immunity of over 50 immune systems. I've done this with 13 of my students. I have the immunity of 13 immune systems, and I feel bulletproof. So if you have any questions about how to reach me, I'm sure it'll be in the description area of this video after Ray completes the production and editing. and gets it up and puts it out there. If anybody's still watching, I love you. I appreciate you. If you're in the water family, we're going to meet. It's going to happen because I've been showing up at people's homes, in people's cities, and we're building community. The beautiful thing about social media and the Urine Therapy water family is that it's a safe, comfortable place that you can talk about a subject that you can't necessarily talk to with other people. So I hope you'll take full advantage and join the Shivambu Hut and have a lovely exchange with 740 people who are there. I'll go to any one of the 25 Facebook urine therapy groups. There's about 6 on Instagram, 3 on Telegram, and I've got the YouTube channel, so you can meet people through YouTube. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/Brother Sage. I also work a lot on donations because I have a faith-based organization called Shivambu. And if you want to make any donations to further the education and awareness of this very important sacred message and mission, reach out to me through brothersage.com. So Ray is offline right now, and maybe he's sitting in the back door, in the backstage, ready to jump on. Anybody have any questions? Now would be a good time to ask it. And we brought up the subject of immortality. Immortality only makes sense to people who are in the now time, that are in the here and now, and they're present and they're paying attention. And when you're present and your mind is still and calm and you're paying attention, you can access everything. You can access infinite intelligence, infinite manifestation, infinite beingness, and there's no limit to what you can bring into your reality and into your heart and into your world and into your relationships and into your prosperity. We're the ones who are limiting ourselves. We're also the ones who are liberating ourselves. We've always been free. We've always been immortal. We've always been masters until they decide to throw the wool over our eyes thousands of years ago and try to convince us that we were not God and that we were separate from our source. And that's not true. So thanks for coming on the show. Ray, you may be coming back. Let me check him. I'm going to see if he sent me out a text, a phone call. No, that's Doc Mike. And did you send me an email, Ray? That would be a no. And did he send me anything on Messenger? And that would also be a no. Well, Ray, thanks for having me on the show today. I don't know how long I should wait. Did I mention everything? Conferences, classes, the Shivambu Hut, the retreat, Water Family Directory, training courses, books, interviews. All the interviews that I've ever done are either located at brothersage.com or YouTube/Brother Sage. Now, there was Channel 7 and Channel 9 that came from Denver to Boulder in 2018 and did an interview with me. And I was there with one of my associates, and we were doing Tai Chi, and then we started drinking, and I was doing the protocols, and they were doing a lovely piece. They made it sound really unique and sacred. And at the very last 30 seconds, you know, they bring out the doctor to demonize it. Oh, it's this and it's that, and they're crazy and they're in a cult, right? But what they didn't realize is that Channel 7 story has had over 50 to 60,000 views, and it keeps increasing every day because the message is more important than what they want to do to spin it and put their narrative on it. Urine therapy is here to stay. And if you haven't figured it out right now, urine therapy does a body really good. So get going with your own, get drinking from within, get talking to Brother Sage or any of the billion people that are in the water family worldwide. Doc Mike figured it out one day. Last I heard, there was like 300, 600 million people. And he's done a deep dive and found out that there's closer to 1 billion people practicing urine therapy in over 50 countries. So that adds a lot of weight. We do have science behind this. We do have research behind it. You can either go to the hut and find some of the findings and the websites that we found from the government and from NASA and from very different medical associations that indicate there is evidence and there is proof. By the way, you do know that they use urine in beauty care and skincare products. They use the urea, which is one of the ingredients in urine. And however, most people won't know what that is because they cloak it or hide it under the word carbamide, which is the scientific term for urea. If you go to Wikipedia, you will find that. A lot of things that I talk about are easy to verify. So the people who are asking, do you have evidence this works? Do you have scientific evidence? Do you have reviews? Do you have this, that, and the other thing? We have that. But what's going to convince people is that you're healthy and that you look good and you have strength and vitality and you're engaged with life and with relationships and love more than all that intellectual crap. So if you want to have evidence, drink of yourself, figure it out, and glow, and you will know. So Ray, I'm still on standby. Thanks for coming by, guys. I don't know what happened to Ray. He's my rebirthing brother, urine therapy brother, who's out there in St. Croix, beautiful Virgin Islands. And this is what this is being broadcast from this radio station. And nobody has told me, should I jump off the call if the talk show host disappears? Should I walk away if there's nobody who's hosting? Or am I just going to ramble and talk about the beautiful, glorious things about urine therapy? By the way, this is white ormus gold. This is white ormus gold. If you've ever wondered what that sediment is at the bottom of your pee jar, this is ormus gold. What I did was I put this jar out in the sun until it dried out and it formed these crystals. See the crystals? That's white ormus gold. This is trillions of stem cells in concentration. Some say white blood cells. Stem cells, antibodies, nutrients. So what you can do if you decide to dry it out is just get some way to scrape it out of your container and then bring it back to life either subliminally under the tongue or on the tongue. So when I'm teaching the classes, I teach the protocols, and we're up to 26 protocols. I've written about 24 of them. Some of the new ones that came out this year was the nebulizer. I've got nothing in here right now, but this takes it and turns it into a vapor and a gas a lot more than other vaporizers and distillers and nebulizers. So you can pick these up at Amazon for like $30. And this is great for not only in the nose, but it also over the eyes. It exfoliates the skin. This is a terrific device. It's battery operated or USB port. You can give it what it needs. So all these things are available. I'm working with a water brother here in Colorado. He's in a nearby town. We're working on being able to package all the devices you will need in a form of a protocols kit, along with possibly shirts, cups, water bottles, and things with our slogan on it. And once we get this up and running and available, it'll be a one-stop shopping for urine therapy protocols, and you and anybody can get those. Meanwhile, if you want books, classes, teachings, retreats, you want to be listed on the Water Family Directory, you want to get a free membership at the Shibambu Hut, you can reach me through brothersage.com. You can also make donations either through paypal.me/brothersage, through Venmo, through Zelle, or you can go to shibambu.org and send a donation of any size, because every dollar helps get the message and get the messenger out to the planet. You guys have been wonderful. And Ray, it's 12:12. That's the number that I see up on the screen. I see it on my clock. And I don't know where you went. And I have imagined you can edit this and produce it in the format you want. And thanks for having me on as your guest, Ray. I love you. Appreciate you as not only a water brother, but an immortal brother and a rebirthing brother. We've walked down similar path and studied with similar teachers and masters and gurus and came to where we are today. So we're together in the love space, in the eternal now, the now space of love. So blessings, my friends. Thanks for having me on. Ray, you're going to have to take it from here, brother, because I'm going to leave the show. And each and every one of you are blessed, and make this the most incredibly joyous and blessed journey ever. If you want to register for the retreat, reach out to brothersage.com. Blessings.